Today, I got some new stuff in the mail. Now, mind you, this is not for the S10. It is for my 01 Boomerang. So, I've had some issues with suspension because people just didn't seem to want to take care of this thing. Cheap stuff, easily fixed, but yet don't want to do it. So, today, what do we got here? We got new boots and new tie rods. So the tie rod ends on the car, pretty much the top. So I decided to buy them on my own. Amazon, $66. Wanted to make sure they came with the boots because my boots are pretty well destroyed. So I'm going to try and install these. All I got to do is make sure I have the same amount of thread exposed on the ends, and yeah, we'll see how that all goes. Today on My Tie Rods Are Bad, I'm going to try and replace the front tie rods on my 01 BMW 525i. So I've been putting this off, and I finally got the tools I need to be able to do this and was able to get the tie rods. So I'm going to remove this tire. I'm starting off on the driver's side. So I'll remove this tire and then get back in behind there to be able to see where I'm at with the tie rod and if there's any other tools I need to be able to do this, because I think I have everything, but we will see. Right. So we have the tire off. Of course, the step one's actually jacking it up and securing it back. As you can see, these are my tie rod ends. As you can see, the boot isn't attached anymore. And it does look like it's leaking. So at some point, I may have to replace the rack and pinion on this. But for now, we're going to replace this whole entire assembly. So I didn't get just the end, I got the whole entire thing. So I'm hoping, yeah, because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get this undone. I'm hoping that this would be a somewhat of an easy process, but those are always famous last words, right? Shouldn't take very long. And then it takes you half the day to do one and then 20 minutes to do the other. So yeah, this is probably a lot of my vibration here. I want to also replace these other bushings at some point and also replace the shocks. But right now, this is kind of my main concern because, you know, I'd like to get rid of some of this vibration. I'm going to set these to the same distance as they currently are, and then I'll have to have an alignment done on it, but at least this gets me by for now. So when I got this set, I wanted to make sure it had the boots because I knew my boots were bad and probably should replace them whenever you replace these anyway. So it has the new nut, all the things you need here for it to not be so horrible driving wise as it is now. So I got both boots, both full tie rod assemblies. As you saw, I already have it jacked up, so I'm gonna take and spray here at the assembly here, and then once I remove the boot, I'll spray that nut back there. So then this should be pretty easy to get undone. I did buy a ball joint separator because that seems to be the easiest thing to use. Slide this into the bottom, put this on top of your tie rod end, tighten up the bolt. This one is adjustable with 2 holes in it for 2 different heights. So that should make that side pretty easy and that. So let me get to undoing this, spraying it, let it set for a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next. So I'm starting with the stupid boot first. There's these metal clamps that go around them. They're a pain in the butt to get off. I had to go and get a couple more tools. I got a pair of snips. And then I'm gonna cut the stupid thing off with some tin snips. So in that way, it's out of my way, and whenever I go to take this off, it'd be a lot easier to get the wrench on there and that. So this is still soaking. I sprayed that. So now, let's get this boot off. So I got the boot off. My 32mm fits here just fine. I've come to conclude that I am buying every single metric wrench there is in size. And I'm also doing the same thing with standard, because apparently every wrench that I don't have is the wrench that I need. After going through my whole entire wrench drawer, I found one 18-inch to get on this to be able to undo it, because my ratchet will not go into there. So I will, maybe I should loosen this up before I unthreaded it from back there. But, so, this is an 18 on the original. As you can see, I need new brakes. I'm putting it off. This front pad's still okay on this side. This side looks a little thin, but yeah. I want to get slotted, drilled and slotted and put on this. But for right now, let's get this undone, and yeah, we'll go from there. I want to do the sway bar too at some point, and all the other bushings. So I'm gonna get this. All right. So we have our separator on there. I cranked it down, and just like that, it popped right out. I just need to undo this, take this out. I'll clean this up a little bit, and then we can reinstall the new one. I go uptown for a nut splitter so I can get my tire rod off, and then this happens on my way back. Nothing on the radar. Not supposed to rain today, and it's raining. So now I'm gonna get a wet butt when I do this, or I'm just gonna have to wait till tomorrow, and hopefully this stays, because I don't think this is like a quick passover, because it's like big drops and it's coming down harder. Time to go in. So I went uptown to the local auto parts store to get a nut splitter, because obviously I can't find mine, just like every other tool I own. This was a total mistake. I should never have gone uptown to get a tool. Why? Oh, because they had tools on clearance. And if anyone has seen my toolbox, they know I have this affliction for tools. I love tools. If I don't have it, I'll end up buying it. So these are replacement stones for a hone. Well, guess what? I got the hone too. It was on clearance. I got impact extensions. I got a new seal puller because I broke mine last time I used it. Still works, but I also got sockets. There's a 30mm. I also got a 4-wheel drive spindle nut wrench. Don't know if I'll ever use any of these, but I have them now. I got a 38mm. I got a 29mm. What else is down here in this here bag? I got a 34mm. I think there's more. Hang on. I also got another 30mm as well. And then I got one last thing. I got a Ford ignition module wrench, which I do have a couple of Fords, so this could come in handy. Maybe. And they also had all of their helicoil stuff on clearance. I really wanted to buy that, but I thought I had enough here. So I'm assuming there's going to be another AutoZone trip in my future, so then that way I can get more tools. Okay, it stopped raining for a couple of seconds. I was able to use a nutcracker splitter. I always want to call it a cracker, but a splitter. I was able to split the nut, and then I put pressure down and was able to unthread the nut off of here. So the said nut that is now split. And then the tie rod. So in my opinion, it's just as cheap to replace the whole thing as it is to replace part of it. As you can see, this is just all over the place. So I'll grab the new one, I'll throw that one on, But I also noticed that my stabilizer link here, oops, here, and down here is pretty much garbage. Just so happens I have another one. I have this side because I bought the kit. I replaced the passenger side already. So I'll do that since I'm here and have the tire off and have everything out of the way. And I don't know if you can hear, but off in the distance there is now thundering, even though still nothing on the radar. Yeah, that thunder's getting closer, and there's already lightning alerts. And that's like the one day that's nice and cool and not like 400 degrees out. So I just got the tie rod in, and then I just replaced the stabilizer linkage. As you can see, this one's pretty well toast. So new one is in, new tie rod is in. I just kind of did a guesstimate on where it needed to be. Definitely helped to have 2 people to do this, just because that end is so stiff up there that it's hard to get it threaded in and then do this part. I'm sure there's tricks to it. So this side is done. Now I just got the passenger side, which should take me another full day at the rate I am going, but hopefully not, and hopefully it goes much smoother than this side, since now I know how it kind of all goes together now. So more to come. All right, so both tie rods are now replaced, and the stabilizer linkage is also replaced. I need to get an alignment on it. I did about as best as I could with adjusting the tie rods to the old tie rods, which I needed an alignment anyway. So I'm gonna see if I can get that done. I didn't get my oil change in it, so I gotta still do that. And then, yeah, I can move on to the next things that need to be done on this. So the first tie rod took me forever to do and get done because, well, it was just kind of a pain in the butt, and you know, you learn from the first one when you go to do the second one. So the second one, it took like 20 minutes versus my forever on the driver's side because of going to get tools and trying to figure out how to put it back on appropriately and the easiest way to do it. So yeah, so another project in the books. I'm hoping to keep this thing on the road, so then that way I can then start working on the S10 and getting that, you know, more videos with that. So this is my daily, and I need to make sure that it's roadworthy and I can keep it on the road, so then that way I can continue to work on, you know, fun things like the S10 and stuff like that. So more to come, more content on the Beamer, more content on the S10. I still want to do the series on my friend's engine swap. I'm trying to get my garage organized enough that I can do that easily. So that's in what I've been working on. And then also I have my 04 F-150 that I'm thinking about doing an engine swap on. So more to come. Thanks for watching.